Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name is Cody Bills, this is Logan Burgess. Today is April 2nd, and we did have a little bit of traction today in the grains. We had some export sales possibilities and some weather events here that'll be affecting prices coming down the line. But let's turn right over to Fire Tips, see where we closed off the day. Corn for May delivery trading down 2 cents. Soybeans trading up 3 1/4. Wheat in Chicago trading up 7 1/2, and Kansas City wheat trading up 6 1/4. Now we did have some very volatile price action today, Logan.
Right.
Maybe you could walk us through what that price action, what actually happened, and also does that imply anything for you going forward?
Yeah, well, let's take a look here at a 5-minute candlestick chart on the May contract. As you can see here, each candle here represents a 5-minute time period. And coming out of the overnight session, we actually saw some strength in this corn market. We were up 8 or 10 cents this morning, so it really had this kind of turnaround Tuesday feel to it in the beginning. When we opened up and we did have more volume in this market, you can see that we continued lower. And right here, I know that you and I got a little bit nervous seeing this corn market cup over lows. We weren't able to really surge lower, though, on the day. We found some buying interest come back in, and it really seemed supported by some things that we were seeing on the export sales front. Nothing confirmed in today's action, but we did have the Japanese. Rumored has it they were looking for around 700,000 metric tons of corn, and the Taiwanese 1.1 million tons of corn sought by them. So certainly this notion that a huge decline in price, taking $1 off a bushel of corn, certainly going to bring back some export business that we really haven't seen there in the last couple months.
Yeah, and you know, one thing I wanted to mention here about this 5-minute chart, if you actually zoom out just a little bit, you'll notice that we traded down here before, and what happened today is we made a run at those lows. We cupped through them, and we actually penetrated those lows, but we're unable to really break lower,
right,
to get momentum. Then we cupped over and we tried it again. So this is our second attempt. We did break through it, but we were unable to push a whole lot lower. I think that's 2 failed attempts here, and what we saw was a quick rally afterward and then a pretty good close here. To me, I think that the selling that we've seen, we come off a buck. I think you're exactly right. I think there's a good chance that we could see prices drift higher here at a relatively sharp fashion, simply because I think $1 coming off of price will definitely spur demand.
Yeah,
you know, also, you know, throughout the U.S., we are going to have some weather, some colder weather throughout much of the growing regions in this week and also in next week. And we're also going to get some moisture in the Kansas City growing regions. So that's going to help the growing conditions for wheat, but it's also going to potentially delay some of the planting even more. The colder temperatures keeps that soil moisture much colder than what is needed to get into the fields, and not only that, but you have the additional rain events as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Cody. You know, talking to a lot of producers here, it sounds like in general right now things are pretty wet in a lot of the corn growing region. Certainly, a lot of guys' planting dates are getting pushed back, you know, maybe into early May here. And certainly we saw some interesting action going on today in the spreads. We did see front month corn close down 2 cents, but if we look out to the more deferred months, we actually saw some strength there. Do you think that was kind of as a result of the precipitation, or what was kind of your take on that?
Yeah, well, let's just take a look here at the September and December corn spread. So you're buying Sep, you're selling December, and basically what you're seeing here, I have this year, which is the green, and I also have 2011, which was really a late planting season, getting into the ground very late. As you remember, we had flooding and other events going on in North Dakota. It was just a very wet season. And then you have the 2010, which was relatively early, kind of a normal planting season. And of course, coming off of 2000, we had ample stocks. You'll notice that yellow line, we really had no real premium for September corn. However, in 2011, when we planted later, that means the grain's coming out of the fields later, and that really starts to add a premium to that September contract. And this year, you know, going into that stocks report, we had a pretty decent premium. We had about a 30 cent, a little higher, 34-cent premium over December. And that stocks report took all those old crop contracts and really started selling. And it really started to take that premium out, and we lost, you know, 10, 15 cents right out of the premium for September over Dece. And I think, you know, when you look at September in particular, that's really kind of the end of old crop, and you're starting to get some of that southern grain, some of that early planted grain coming out of the fields. And I think that when you talk about that late old crop marketing year period, you know, you're going to have tight stocks no matter what. You know, we have tight stocks. We got $1 coming off of this corn contract. That's going to spur demand. And even though we had an extra 400 million bushels, I think we could easily eat right through that 400 million bushels with prices coming down to the levels that we've seen.
Yes,
so the bottom line here is I really think that this September-December corn spread has the ability to move back up toward that 30 level, especially if we continue to see delayed weather conditions that delay planting.
Yeah, Cody, we've been talking about it a lot here on GrainTV recently, was that cash corn wheat spread. And I think that's something that could play into this as well. If we see cash corn continue to lose value on the old crop, we've seen just the premium that corn carries over wheat in the cash market kind of evaporate here in the last couple of days with that trade action. So we could see a little bit of old crop demand return that way. We have heard that some ethanol plant crush margins have been improving here over the last couple of days. So that all seems like something that could be helping out the old crop, or the September in this case, whereas the December futures price really didn't have a lot to go off those acreage numbers that we got last Thursday.
Yeah, I would agree. Well, that pretty much wraps up this Tuesday's GrainTV. And if you have any questions about what we talked about, give us a call at 877-472-4607. One last note here for those that have stuck around until the end. There is going to be a Planalytics planting weather update. What are you going to be able to expect here going into the planting season? They always do a great job.
Right.
And if you're interested in watching that webinar, give us a call at 877-472-4607. We can get you in there and you can kind of hear what they have to say. They're spot on with their weather analysis most of the time. So thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll see you here tomorrow.